Sonic Unleashed, created in 2008, is very highly rated by most people. Over the years, more and more people are starting to like this game. Even at IGN, they put it in their top 10 games, putting it at number 9. Despite originally calling this game a train wreck. In their review, they used the non-HD and the HD version of this game, which is a little weird because when people talk about Unleashed, it's usually the HD version on the PS3 and Xbox 360. And that's just because the non-HD version on the Wii and PS2 is so dramatically different, which we'll get into later. Also, I'll be referring to the non-HD version as the Wii version because that's what I played it on. The HD version just outshines the Wii version in almost every way, so no one really talks about it. Sonic Unleashed excels at what it does, primarily the daytime stages, which is the replacement for speed characters in the adventure formula. I'm sure everyone knows this already, but I'll go over it again. Instead of building up speed and trying to maintain it, you get rings to fill up the boost meter, and you can go at top speed for as long as the meter is up. This replaces most of the platforming aspects of the game with reacting to something, like sliding under an obstacle. On the first playthrough, you'll most likely run into the walls and slide under it slowly. But when you replay the stage and slide under it correctly, it's a very rewarding feeling. There's still a lot of platforming, but it's mostly replaced by 2D platforming instead. This style was quite successful, having many future games use the same formula, but none of them quite perfect the same sense of speed you get when playing, and of course, that's only 30% of the game. The other stages are the night stages. I have made a video on this before, but that video kinda sucked. It was very low effort. I changed the video idea halfway through editing, and it's pretty obvious. The night stages are slower paced combat based stages. You spend most of your hours on Unleashed playing night stages. These stages have some decent combat when you level up enough. They also have some basic platforming, which is pretty fun. These stages are just alright. They break up the pace a little too much because you play multiple night stages in a row. But all this stuff about the base game is probably not why you clicked on the video. Now I'm going to be talking about if Unleashed got a remake. First off, I think there needs to be graphic enhancements. That's very basic, but every remake needs that. The DLC should also come with the game. These are hardly even changes at all. I think where they should start making the major changes is on the night stages. I would want the combat to be more like Frontiers, but obviously it wouldn't fit the Werehog. So something like the Like a Werehog mod would do good. And if you don't know what that is, I'll put it on the screen, and if you don't want to read that, it essentially just makes the combat faster. But if they did something like this, they should add difficulty options because this mod is hard. I tried doing the normal difficulty setting and I kept dying over and over again. And I had to switch the difficulty down because it was too hard for me. Also, sometimes with the Werehog, the homing attacks don't work right. That also could have been because on my first playthrough, I used an emulator to play it because that was the best way to play it at the time. Something interesting Sonic Team could add is the Wii version of the game as DLC. Some people don't realize that the non-HD version is a completely different experience. Boosting in this game is like using a mushroom in Mario Kart. You only boost for a few seconds, and if you run into a wall, you lose your boost. So you have to use your boost strategically. The nighttime Werehog stages don't really need to be added because they're just less well fleshed out versions of the levels. Another thing that they could add from the Wii version is the way you collect medals. In the Wii version, you collect medals based on the rank you get after you complete a stage. The way you collect medals could be an option in the settings, or you could just turn off medals, because let's be honest, no one really likes collecting medals. That's pretty much all I could think of that I would want in regular base Sonic Unleashed. If you saw the thumbnail, you could probably tell where the next part's gonna go. Silver the Hedgehog made his debut in Sonic 06 and then never returned. Technically, he was still in Sonic Generations and Sonic Forces, but that doesn't really count because he wasn't playable. And it was mainly due to the massive failure of Sonic 06, and the failure is the reason why Sonic Unleashed was even made. Either way, Silver should be added to a remake, and it should be called Sonic X Silver Unleashed. Obviously, the idea was from Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I'll start off of what I thought the story could be. While Sonic is fighting in space, Silver could just be there chilling, and suddenly, the Earth splits open and Silver falls through the Earth. Now, this is where I didn't know what's next. I was thinking Silver meets Dark Gaia and is manipulated into helping Dark Gaia grow, but I don't think Silver should be the bad guy. I think that there should be a second villain that studied Dark Gaia and knows a lot about Dark Gaia and isn't exactly human, almost like Iblis, but smaller. And this monster was manipulated into helping Dark Gaia grow greater than ever. And the goal for Silver is to stop this creature from helping Dark Gaia to grow. And we'll call this creature I Gaia for Iblis Gaia. For the hub world, obviously it should be in some way lava themed, and you go around and find people that know iGaia and are trying to save him. These people, or maybe creatures, probably people, also fell into the earth. There should be something like the Chaos Emeralds, so Dark Chaos Emeralds, like Dragon Ball GT. I know, very original. Every one of iGaia's friends has one, but they aren't powered, and Silver can power the emeralds. But these friends are trapped by some of iGaia's toughest creatures, so Silver has to save them. And at the end of the game, Silver turns Shadow, or Dark Silver, to end iGaia's wrath. Or not really wrath, but you know. And then iGaia returns to his non-manipulated self. And because Silver can fly, they all escape. And what I mean by escape is that Sonic and Dark Gaia are having their fight right as this is happening, as you can see in the background. But fortunately, this fight happens at the other side of the Earth from where Sonic and Dark Gaia are at. I thought of that whole story idea while I was in math class, so I hope you enjoyed that. My gameplay ideas are a lot more simple than the story was. We already know Silver can go fast, so I think some of his levels should be just fast-paced levels like in Sonic Unleashed. I think these levels shouldn't really focus on his psychokinetic powers. Or I guess they could, but they don't really need to. But that can't be the only types of levels because this game is split into day and night stages in the regular game. I think the night stages could be structured like how regular Silver levels are in Project 06. This would focus a little more on combat than the speed stages, but it also doesn't slow down the pace that much. I know I barely talked about the gameplay, but now I've said everything that I could want from an Unleashed remake. And I know the possibilities of this happening are close to zero. The most we'd probably get is just a port of the game, but I doubt that would sell well because of Unleashed recompiled, so it just might not happen ever. I hope you enjoyed this different style of video. I know it's a little different from what I usually do, but I had fun working on it. Alright, and goodbye.